would you like to set them on the table then? Afterwards?
Yes, just as they know that something happened in our map.
Right.
I'm just thinking a lot about this. Make a chocolate. Yes, we've got to translate it and the
I'm really going to get this one. You wouldn't want it to be sold? These are great. Oh yes, that's fine. I would say. Fine, you're fine. Go on ahead.
No.
Put over the stage, yeah.
10 to 11.
And 11. So I would say it's about 12:30.
Good morning, Adrian.
Better be careful with that.
Oh, did you? Well, this is Mrs. Warmington.
Absolutely tremendous. Absolutely. Oh, it's. Oh, we're hoping to draw in
on the
some
best.
of your.
No, we haven't. It's going on.
That's a grand.
Two or three violins, but I didn't know which one.
Well, it's said not to join us.
That's easy to wear.
Where's Daisy? We should.
Can I not slide over to the side?
Oh yeah. It's good to see you. Everybody into the hall. Unfortunately, this is something we hadn't planned on, and at 11 o'clock we will observe the 3 minutes.
One for the camera there, sure.
We're too close.
Back a wee bit. Don't
Fall off the
Don't fall
edge.
down the edge. Is that all you're taking?
Very welcome there.
How you doing?
Sorry.
Could you actually say it?
Is that the next of it now?
Tez, you've never been in the main hall, no?
Unfortunately, he could have came the last day, he never stayed
Awesome.
Where have you been? You're amazing.
Right, party.
First of all, welcome to Darkley Community Resource Centre. For those who don't know, my name's Aidan McKinney and I'm the worker for the Community Association here. First, I want to thank you all for coming. It's a bit of a sort of mixed day with the things going around in the world and whatever, and has thrown lots of things off that we didn't expect. But it's nice to see so many here, and you're very welcome to Darkley Hall. At any other time in the future, you're very welcome back to Darkley Hall. I'm here 9 till 12 at night. Other things, Deputy Mayor and Ronnie for coming along, and Sid McDowell and a few other VIPs, Martin and so forth, who are all going to charm you with their speeches. Thanks to everybody for coming along, and I'm going to hand you over now to the chairperson of the Darkley District Association, Community Association, Tony Hughes.
Deputy Mayor, Reverend gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure on behalf of Darkley and District Community Association to welcome you all here, to join with us in celebrating what is a very special and proud occasion for Darkley. Present with us are those who have been involved with our other projects, the new shop, the new roadway, the new housing scheme, because together with the hall, it completes the regeneration of Darkley Village. Today we have reached our goal after 15 years of very hard work, and I would like to pay tribute to my colleagues in the association for their support, determination and resilience when they were working this past couple of nights to very late hours to get this place polished and shaped up. It's hard to imagine from the small beginnings we came 15 years ago, meeting in each other's houses, chasing the children off to bed to get the business into. It's also pleasing to see so many of our former members of the group over the 15 years here with us. They all had a part to play. Once you start to thank people, there's always a danger that you will leave someone out. But I will risk that, because there are a few people that I would like to single out. Back in 1995, we held a public meeting well, it was a meeting with various bodies, funding bodies, agencies. In fact, I see Laura here, and it was Laura who arranged that meeting. And representing the RDC, the Rural Development Council that night, was a man who unfortunately can't be here today, and that was Sean Henry. And he gave us immeasurable help, put us on the right way and the right path, which led to so much of our success. And I'd like to ask Martin to bring back to Sean our heartfelt thanks. I would also like to thank the consultancy firm of Venture International, and in particular John O'Neill, who also can't be here. He's out of the country at the moment. I know consultants can get a very bad name and a very bad press, but we can't say that about John O'Neill. Because he worked with us over many, many months in producing what was a very, very comprehensive set of business plans, which led to the successful applications, which gave us our hall and gave us our show. I also wish to thank Brian Clark for the gift of the site. I remember, and I'm looking around for Brian, I remember going to Brian and asking Brian for a wee piece of ground down beside the old village, because that's where we were originally going to build the hall, and we were looking at a little piece of the ground down there just to enlarge it. And Brian just straight all said, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a new greenfield site, a half-acre site, and he did, and this is it. So Brian, thank you. There would be no hall at all if it wasn't for the funders. So a big thank you goes to the Rural Community Network, RCN, to the RDC, to Playboard, to Armagh District, City and District Council for their financial aid. And not only the financial aid, they were there for help and for advice as well, which is very important. Our thanks also go to the design team, Yul Weir, the architect, Bill Laura, quantity surveyor, our solicitor Brian Walker. And finally, I would like to commend eminent contractors. See Edmund Nugent here for the building of the hall. It was a marvellously kept site, and the funders would remark on how well the site was kept and how well the building went on. To all others, and there's others who has helped us throughout, people like Sharon, people like Joan Lewis, working with us in an energy scheme here. Eleanor Gill. I'm sure I have left people out, and for that I'm sorry, but believe me, you do be remembered along the way somewhere. We do appreciate all the help. And if I have left anyone out, I am sorry. But thanks to everyone for your help in any way. Thank you.
Thanks, Tony. I'd like to call now on Anna Brolly, Deputy Mayor of Armagh City and District Council, to say a few words.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted to be with you today to share in the celebrations to mark the opening of this fine facility. The Council appreciate the hard work that has been put in, particularly by the Community Association, in bringing this project to the stage. The past few years has seen a tremendous turnaround in the physical appearance and community infrastructure, all down to the dedication of local people. The opening of this hall is the icing on the cake, and the Council are very pleased to have been able to assist in a funding capacity. Now it is up to the community to make full use of the facility to ensure that it is sustainable for many years to come. Once again, I congratulate you all on your achievement and wish you well in the future. Thank you.
Deputy Mayor. I'd now like to call on one of the important people. That's the one that supplies the readies. And he's representing RDC here. It's Martin McDonald, Chief Executive of RDC.
Thank you, Adrian. It's hard to come up and speak when you're supposed to be charming and you're to be a very important person. You know, you're neither. But I am delighted to be here this morning. My first sortie into Darkley was back in 1990 when I worked for the Department of Agriculture. Well, it was agriculture at that stage, there was no rural development tacked on the end of it. And at that stage, I suppose, rural development as part of agriculture was a very small part and was only very fledgling, starting to get up and running, trying to get communities to come together. And I suppose, looking back 10 or 11 years ago, groups were very enthusiastic, and a lot of groups spent a lot of time and voluntary effort trying to bring their plans to fruition. But as I say, my first visit to Darkley was with the Crossfire Community Trust, and I'd been asked to come and speak at a lunchtime meeting. And just as I arrived that day, I can't even remember the name of the personnel, but the person who greeted me at the door took me aside and said, "Listen, the speaker we had last week was a civil servant like you. He lasted about 10 minutes, they got so fed up they just threw him out." And I thought, Darkley must be some spot. but thankfully I survived that session, and with the Department of Agriculture at that stage, we did work closely with Darkley. I think if Darkley have done anything, they have managed to work the system to their advantage. And the system is a very complicated and bureaucratic system, and it's not easy to make your way around it. And I think given the number of representatives of both statutory agencies and voluntary agencies that are here today, and given the amount of money that you have persuaded those agencies to put on the table, I think that is a testimony to your dedication and to the hard work that you have done. So this isn't my first time at Darkley, and I'm still as unimportant now as I was then. However, one of the pleasures of working with an organisation such as the Rural Development Council is the opportunity to share in the celebration of your community achievement, and it is your community and it's your achievement. I'm therefore delighted to be with you here this morning and to have this opportunity to congratulate everybody, both inside and outside the association, on the occasion of the official opening of this magnificent building. The Rural Development Council, in its role as an intermediary funding body under the European Union Peace Programme, is delighted to have been able to support the project. Indeed, the Council has been working with Darkley for a number of years in a project planning capacity, and I'm delighted to hear that people like Sean Henry have managed to leave behind them a testimony of the work that they have done, and I will pass on, Adrian, your kind regards to Sean. As I said, Darkley started out under our project planning capacity building, the very early stages, helping groups to how do we meet, how do we elect a chair, how do we take minutes, the very basics that groups have to put through before they start to manage a project. Much has happened since then, and the Council are pleased to have been able to assist with the various different stages of that development process. Over this number of years, Darkley has built up its reputation as a community that can achieve results. Community consultations back in 95 and 96 identified the need for improved housing, community space and a retail outlet. And I know the first time I came into Darkley, I thought I'd fallen off the edge of the earth, because I thought the housing was so bad, there were no community facilities, the roads needed done. It definitely spoke out as a community that needed support, but it was the community themselves who managed to persuade funders to provide that support and to beat their way through the bureaucracy. And although today we mark the success of the group for this community building, I wish to pay tribute to the group for all the work that they have done in pursuing the full needs of the community. It's not an easy task, it's easy to talk about, but it's a long, hard path. None of this would have been possible without a great deal of commitment and dedication. And what should never be forgotten is the considerable amount of voluntary time and effort which you, the community, gave so willingly. We recognise that this venue will act as a central focus point for the delivery of a range of community services and cater for the needs of the entire community and other key groups. It will be used as a vehicle for helping to foster new activities and to strengthen the relationships among all the people who make up your community. I'm therefore delighted to see so many community representatives here today and to wish Darkley well on the official launch of the project. I think what it does do is to demonstrate a high level of support for the group and what they have done. And finally, I would like to thank my own staff and Teresa's here this morning, and I will pass on your kind words to Sean Henry, who unfortunately couldn't be here this morning. So just for me to say to you, well done, keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Martin. Thanks for calling another money man. Another one of the funders from the Rural Community Network, Programme Manager for that organisation, Tom Keenan.
Well, obviously I'd like to begin by thanking the committee in particular and the community of Darkley for inviting and giving me the opportunity to be with you today. I think, like Martin, I blushed a little bit when described as a VIP. I think the VIPs in this situation are really the committee that have worked so hard, and the community of Darkley that's done so much to see a revival in the immediate environment. And I mean, I do think that seeing what's happened over the last few years here does show that when a community puts its energies and efforts into a positive mode and decides that it wants to achieve something, then you can achieve huge things. And I think, you know, it's you that are really the VIPs today. And I'm not going to speak for very long, because given the number of speakers you've got and the week that's in it, it feels it's an odd and ironic situation to be stood here on such a joyous occasion for you, when all of us are so concerned about what's happened in our world this week and what might happen in weeks to come. So I don't want to take up too much time. I really appreciated the 3 minutes at 11 o'clock today, and I think, again, I want to particularly thank the committee and Tony for organising that. That 3 minutes in a busy world seemed like such a long time, and gave me time to think yet again about the things that I'd seen and felt this week. And of course, people from this land share and understand the concerns that our American brothers and sisters are feeling at the moment. You know, not only has Ireland sent so many people there and been so well received, but we've been through our own tragedies. And I just want to say that it's the things that happen in places, in communities like this, when communities like this move forward, that actually shows that even out of the darkest moments, something positive can happen. And as I say, that's all I'm going to say. I just want to thank you once again for inviting me along, and hope that many, many good stories come out of this building in the future. Thanks very much.
Thanks very much, Tom. Not a funder of the hall, but a money man I'm calling next. A great friend of Darkley, and seemed to be calling Darkley quite frequently over the last year or so, and more than welcome. I think he's very fond of Darkley, and certainly Darkley's very fond of him. And I want to thank him for coming down today, because I know he's a busy man. And I'll say nothing more except to welcome Sid McDowell, Chairman, and Northern Ireland Think Tank.
Chairman, Deputy Mayor and friends in Darkley, I'm absolutely delighted to be here. In some ways, a bright, pleasant room like this reflects just how happy an occasion this is, because it's a celebratory occasion. When I came down here for the first time, when we were opening the new houses, some of the people in the village told me about the vitality which used to exist here when there was a large mill and hundreds of people were employed in it. And there was that esteem that was associated with the mundane process of getting up in the morning, hearing the horns going to work and coming home. And for a while that was removed. In a sense, the heart was torn out of the village, and you could understand the meaning of the term dark satanic mills, because I think there must have been a hopelessness that was associated with that. And I was pleased to be along on the day that we were opening or marking the opening of the 17 new houses in the village, because it is one of the markers that you had set for yourselves as part of the process of regenerating this local community. And I suppose one of the points that struck me was that when you build 17 new houses, it isn't something you do to a community and then go away. It's something you do with the community because you believe there is an absolute and essential need for that. And when you put all of the things together, the retail shop doing something about a roadway, doing something about the conditions in which people live in the other houses, giving them warm homes, better health, a better standard of life, then you're beginning to bring together some of the components which constitute a better quality of life for people. So I think it's my third occasion visiting the village, and my first one I was struck by the warmth and the friendliness of the people. Not worried, because I don't need to come down. I want to be here, and I know others are here for the same reason. And you've been kind enough to thank Martin and other colleagues, Anna and so on, who've come here this morning. But one of the things that struck me in the housing exec, when I looked at the range of organisations we work with in the voluntary sector, hundreds of them, and I decided to have a reception. It took 3 receptions to bring them all in. And when they came into the housing exec, I said, who here thinks they're here from a hard sell from the housing executive? And quite a number of hands went up. And I said, that's not why you're here this morning or this afternoon. I brought you here because I want to say thank you. Because we couldn't do our job without the voluntary sector. It would be arrogant to think that we could. And that's why the sense of community that one feels here is very important. And we want to be seen to be identifying with it and encouraging you in your efforts. So this is a very happy and celebratory day. As a former trade union official, I often fall into the danger of shortening the winter for people. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stop. But I'll finish on this note that I understand you've got a splendid IT suite here. You've got a lovely hall. You've got this splendid hall, and I got a piece of intelligence that an important specification was a large room like this that would be suitable for line dancing. Now, I worried about that for just a minute because some recent speeches suggested that line dancing might be sinful. Now, I'm not all that worried about that because I'm a field lay preacher. I know that'll come as a surprise to some of you. I discovered sin a long time, and it's great. I don't really mean it, you know. There's probably whoever thought line dancing was a bad thing meant lap dancing. I'm not sure. I don't know about that being sinful. It's certainly dangerous. I can't imagine anything worse than somebody dancing on your lap. But it does mean that, as we laugh here this morning, that this is a hall which I hope will echo with laughter on many, many occasions in the future. And I think you made a mistake this morning, Tony.
Not the first.
I'm sorry about that, because he said this completes the regeneration of Darkley Village. I doubt it, because it's not a destination, it's a journey. And you'll think of something else, because now you've learned the techniques of how to squeeze money out of people. So whatever you're doing, it's very successful. We're very happy to be associated with it this morning, all of the guests you have here. And instead of you thanking us, I'm sure we would want to thank you and wish you a very happy and successful and prosperous time in the years ahead. Thank you very much.
Well, thanks, Sid. You somewhere in there we get a joke. I'd like to welcome our next speaker, now, who also is, became a very close friend of ours. Through work you make all these friendships, and certainly this person I hope feels the committee is a friend of theirs. Certainly we welcome what she's doing in the village and all the help she's given the village as well. From the Health Action Zone, Armagh Dungannon, the manager of that is Eleanor Gill.
Deputy Mayor, Reverend gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen, hello. I think this is a great day of celebration, and I really am honoured that I'm even a part of it. No talk of addressing you today. I feel so small in front of such an audience. The Armagh Dungannon Health Action Zone is all about people working together. That's the principle of it and the way it's supposed to work. But it doesn't work at all unless you've got the involvement of the community. And I started to think about the word community and what community actually means and this sense of community. And it's maybe a poor reflection in this fast and modern world that we're living in, that people don't know who their next door neighbour is or who lives in the next field. And we take our children out to school, especially in rural villages like this that I also work in, and they leave in the dark on a winter morning and they come back in the dark at night and they're not on the streets playing. And we find old people who are sitting at home and they're lonely, they feel cut off, and they really don't feel they're a part of a community. And then you start to get really depressed because it's a dismal indictment of the world that we're living in. But having been to Darkley, this is not the case in Darkley. Darkley has a really overwhelming sense of community and a sense of pride and a sense of true warmth and honesty within its people that are here. As well as looking out for and supporting Darkley, they also are very good at welcoming people in. They're so warm when people come to talk with them and to look at ways of doing it. And they're absolutely excellent at outreaching to the people who need to come in to help them. They've got a technique which actually is one which is based on true partnership of everybody working together. And I think this new building is a real testament to all the efforts of the committee that are sitting with us today. You know, they didn't lie down under bureaucracy and the form filling and everything else that really can put you off, or this feeling that Darkley is at the end of the world. It's on that road and there's nothing that goes past it. It's very easy under all those pressures to just give up. But they've got their new hall, they've got their village shop, which I just drove up past today, it looks great. They've got their new roads and the generation goes on, and as Sid said, the story goes on. But Darkley Community Association, from my point of view, isn't about buildings. Certainly we're in a building today which is going to be a focal point, but they put a lot of thought as well into the conditions within which the people in their community live. And we've been involved in a project with the Darkley Community Association to actually begin to make sure that the people in this village are living in warm homes that are comfortable, that they're proud of, that they'll bring people into, and that will ultimately help their quality of life and actually as well help their expectancy of life. The project in Darkley is a project of excellence. It's a flagship of how we can go about in our rural areas, putting heating and energy efficiency and other measures into people's homes that make a real difference there and then. And I think you should be celebrating that, not just celebrating your home, but you now are in a position where you're not just informing us locally as to what's the best way about putting heating into people's homes. You're also informing the national debate and indeed the international debate, and I think well done for that. The Darkley scheme here, we've got now heating into some people's homes. We went in the early days to Kevin and Daisy's house, and their feeling of warmth that they were getting around Christmas time last year, just before all that snow. But really, this project, what stands out for it is, there hasn't been one person who's dropped out of the scheme. And whenever we look at this type of thing, this is really unusual, because people don't like the bother of contractors coming into their home, or they may feel afraid that somebody's going to come in and they don't really know who they are. The fact that the community owned this project meant that everybody was able to avail of the benefits, and I think that is a real testament to you. The other thing I'd like to say in relation to the Darkley Community Association is that we sent Joan Lewis down into the community, and I think Joan is an honorary Darkley person by this stage. And the key to the success of this project, it's Joan and the community working together and making sure that all the partners came together. The Housing Executive through Sharon and the efforts that she has made within the area, NIE and their money, but not just their money, they actually have come and they've worked in the place. REN and all the other organisations have come together. It really has been worth the bother. Sometimes we talk about community development and partnership and it rolls off the tongue and it nearly minimises the effect of it all. It's a very powerful mechanism and I certainly feel it is worth the bother. Just to finish off on it, I'd like to pay a special tribute to Adrian McKenna. Adrian sort of works in the background, quiet sort of a man, has a heart attack now and again, and works really tirelessly, manages his committee and works really hard for the whole of the village and surrounding areas of Darkley. I'm sure Adrian will tell you about the number of partnerships that he needs to connect into, the number of consultations he has to be involved in to ensure that Darkley doesn't fall off the map at this stage and lose all the momentum you've built up, but actually is in there and is in the driving seat of ensuring that for the future Darkley keeps moving. And I think it's worth saying a big thank you to Adrian for his friendship and his help over the years. I'd also like to say thank you to the committee members who have been true and honest friends. Working together with community is a learning process. It isn't easy, but really we've always been able to talk about where we're going and make sure that we get there, and they make a brilliant cup of tea, so anytime you need one. I wish you every success in the further development of Glenaven, and I want to pledge the commitment of all the partners involved in the Armagh and Dungannon Health Action Zone that we're with you and will be continuing to be with you for as long as you feel you need us. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Eleanor. We hit £50 on the way.
I've got it already.
Our next, and as I say, at last, but by no means least, speaker works for Armagh City and District Council. And to me, one of the most difficult fields of working in certainly Northern Ireland, but probably one of the most important fields of work that we have to look at. I'll say no more except that the two Sorbian and Clintock from the Community Relations Officer for Armagh City and District Council.
Thank you very much, Adrian. Deputy Mayor, Reverend gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to add my congratulations to all involved in the development and implementation of this fantastic project. I can safely say that Darkley is one of the best examples of community-driven regeneration that I have been involved with. The village has been completely turned around in terms of its physical environment, and I get this sense of community pride. In fact, before I came here this morning, I drove down the main street with Monica Curran over here, who's our new leader officer in the council. It was her first visit to Darkley. My first visit was 10 years ago, 11 years ago in fact, roughly at the same time as Martin made his first visit, and I was equally shocked when I saw people were living in what was at that time the 20th century. But it's a real testimony to the people of Darkley who have worked for years to achieve this goal. And I know that the committee was established in about 1985, and they must have felt as if they were banging their heads up over walls time and time again. But it just shows you that if you persevere, you can achieve your goal. So here we are in Darkley's new state-of-the-art community resource centre, or as we unfortunately call it in community relations term, a neutral venue. It sounds like somewhere that has to be painted white and there's absolutely, horrible term, and hopefully it's a term that we can get rid of in the not too distant future. But it's always seemed to me that inter-community relationships have always been fairly good in Darkley. Now this centre hopefully will provide an opportunity to build on these good relations, a place where people can leave their religion and their politics at the door and come together and enjoy social activities. Now raising the funds to build a facility like this is only the start. What is really important is that the centre is sustainable for many years to come. It must not be allowed to lie idle, but must be used as fully as possible, ensuring that there are activities that will attract and embrace people of all ages from diverse cultural backgrounds. This is going to be a challenge for the community, and it's one which we at the Council will be very happy to assist with. Darkley, as we see it today, is a real credit to the people and in particular to the committee. Now I know that in the last few years something like £2 million has been pumped into Darkley. Now I am sure that there is more work that can and will be done. It's up to the people to really get behind the committee. And I know that, I have facilitated several AGMs for the community group. And I know when it comes to that part in the evening when we're trying to get new committee members, that sometimes people want to just hide under the chair and they say, no, I don't think I can afford one evening a month to come to a meeting. But surely when you see what can be achieved, it's something that they should be queuing up to be members of the committee. And I hope maybe I'll come out to the next AGM and see if the people are really lining up to get involved, to get behind the committee and see what more can be achieved. Let's hope there's another £2 million we can get in the next 5 or 6 years. Thank you for the invitation. I hope you enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Herbie. And now I'd like to call back our chairperson, Tony Hughes, to perform the ceremony.
There you are, you don't get it that easy. And now the moment we have all been waiting for. I would like to call upon a gentleman to do the unveiling for us. And this gentleman has been a part of Darkley life for many, many years. He touched most of our lives in his teaching capacity as principal of Darkley School. He's a man much loved and held in great respect and affection by everyone in the community. And that's the man who is affectionately known as the Master, Mr. McCall. The unveiling will take place out in the foyer. I would like to invite everyone out. If you can squeeze out there to the unveiling. Afterwards, if you could be so kind as to take your places back in the seats again. Just before we have our buffet and our light entertainment. Bring on the clog dancers, line dancers, and we will now have the unveiling. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, before I pull a cord here, which I've been assured does work, I'd like to thank the committee for their invitation to be present here this morning. I consider it a great privilege. Thank you very much. We all acknowledge the work that's gone into bringing this hall where it is. There was hard work, tenacity, purpose that brought a design and a drawing board to fruition where we now are. The committee must be congratulated on a job well done. Now many will come here, and may those who come to use the facilities available generate with their fellows a spirit of goodwill, understanding, tolerance, respect and trust. And by so doing, establish this centre as a vital and vibrant part of the social life of our community. I wish all leisure hours to be times of enjoyment and pleasure, making life richer and more meaningful for all. Thank you. This centre is now officially open.
Yeah.
gentlemen, have your attention again. Realise it's running on, and we're going to try and speed this up for various reasons. One or two people have to leave, it's very busy lives and want to go on, but we don't want to miss the important things here. So we'll not delay too long. There's a few formalities to go through and must be done. So what I want to do is call on our chairperson again, Tony Hughes, who will make a presentation to Master or Mr. McCall.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. If I could, to mark this very, very special occasion, we have a gift that we'd like to present to the Master. I hope I don't. So.
Now, we have another presentation to be made, and it's going to be made by one of the younger members of the committee. We thought to make it a young occasion, so Phyllis is going to present Mrs. McCall with the bouquet.
Oh, sorry.
So on we go with the proceedings. We have a number of small token items to mark the occasion and to say thank you for the people that gave their time to do some speaking on our behalf. I'm going to ask again Tony to present some mementos of Darkley to our speakers here that came today. So we have whichever order you go.
Deputy Mayor. To Martin MacDonald. In case you're wondering what this is, it's a little sketch of the village, a little memento of Darkley. This is the come. Eleanor Gill, who works for the rest of the village. Not forgetting our friend Aubrey McClutcher. And now our friend Sid, who already has one of these. So we tried with the idea of giving him one for the other side of the mantelpiece.
I've just got
but we're not doing that. We're just a little personalised.
We'll have to learn to write.
And now a presentation. Now this presentation is a symbol that not only is this about working in a very, very hard-working committee, but it's also about the community in general, without whose support we wouldn't be successful. We can call on volunteers from outside of the committee, people who don't want to sit on a committee, but are willing to give their time as well, and this is very much appreciated. And there's one person who symbolises this beyond all others, who is here at every beck and call of the committee, who was working here late last night and the night before. And to her, I would also like to present this bouquet, and that's Jennifer.
No, I just sort of want to echo Tony's sentiments, but add my own, because Jennifer and me would have worked quite a lot of hours together, daily through the office and whatever. And I want to add my thanks to Jennifer as well, and also other volunteers who have given their time and a lot of it to me over the last sort of year and a half or whatever. There's a final act to do at the minute, and I think this is only but fitting that this should be done. All the speakers, I think, or certainly most of them, highlighted the fact that this isn't here because by accident or whatever, somebody had to put pen to paper and start the ball rolling at some time or another. I think maybe it's Aubrey, somebody certainly said 1985 kicked off and seen probably about 13 years of nothingness. And for any committee to keep going against those odds, I think speaks for itself. But at the end, the dividends here, from 1998, 1999, things started to roll and wonderful things have happened. But there was 13 years of nothingness. But the committee still met in their houses and everywhere they could meet and so on. The resilience of that there is unbelievable. I think Tony and the committee deserve certainly my thanks and the whole of Darkley and funding and everything else. To Mark Occasion, this is unknown to them because really they're quite shy people. So they are. But to Mark Occasion, I think only befitting that the people who actually started the ball rolling and kept going against all odds should be marked as well. So I have a few little presents for the committee here. And I'm going to ask the chairman, Sid McDowell, if he would do the honour in presenting presents to the committee for me. So, Tony Hughes, our chairperson. Mary Jordan. Catherine Nugent. Una Dorn. And the young girl herself, Phyllis Lear. I don't know where Ethna is. Ethna Smith, are you about here somewhere? Yeah, she is. Ethna, come on over. And Brother McNally. We have another one here for Jim Hart, who unfortunately isn't here, so we'll hold it. I think it's fitting that this small token should go to these people. And I want to thank Sid for doing the honours for me. I think it sort of came in last night when we were brushing and sweeping the floor at 12 o'clock and whatever, and polishing and getting flowers in and all sorts of things that nobody sees today, but all of these people, everyone was here last night, the night before, and possibly many other nights to get them the day on. A lot of work was on behind the scenes. I hope you appreciate it anyway. I certainly appreciate working with the committee, and I've worked in youth and community work for about 21 years now. And while I'm being paid here, it's not that I'm being paid that makes me say that it's a privilege to work with these people. Thank you.
And as I say, all bells shows. And finally, Now, Adrian might think it's all over, but we haven't forgotten him. He is an exceptionally hard development worker. In fact, this past year he hasn't been a development worker, he's been a site manager, he's been a construction manager, he has run the show for us. He works very long and very hard hours. As he says, he gets paid for 37, he works 73, and maybe weeks more. This night he's here to 12 o'clock at night. And we do appreciate it, and to mark this occasion, I would like to present him with a voucher for himself and his wife that can have a meal on us today.
Unbeknown, but I enjoyed the meal. Thanks very much to my work colleagues committee and all of the people who are here today, most of who I know and work with daily and weekly. And I suppose the final thing, and certainly from my point of view, and on the high note, I don't mean this disrespectfully, but to Teresa and Helen Gormley and all of those people, the hall is finished and I would be glad to see the paperwork ended on it. Thanks very much for coming along. We have some food, etc., but before we go into that, we have a slate. We thought it would only be fitting that hopefully the future users of this hall for years to come would do a little entertainment for you. And we have some beautiful little girls back here and some other people in the back here who do a little sort of entertainment for you, and to mark the occasion for Darkley youth in this hall. Thanks very much to you all for coming. Enjoy the rest of the thing. Have a bite to eat, and yeah, I'll see you all in the near future. Thanks very much.
Simultaneously have it, just as if by magic. So enjoy your buffet.
I don't want this camera on when I'm not food.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to have a song. If we could just have some quiet, please. Leon here is going to sing.
Love, shine a light in every corner of our heart. Let the love light carry, let the love light carry. Light up the magic in every boy and girl. Let our love shine a light in every corner of our heart. And we're all gonna shine a light together. All shine a light, light the way. Brothers and sisters in every little heart. Let our love shine a light in every corner of our heart. Love, shine a light in every corner of our world. Let the love light carry, let the love light carry. Let the mighty river flow to the sea. Let our love shine a light in every corner of our heart. And we're all gonna shine a light together. All shine a light, light the way. Brothers and sisters in every little heart. Let our love shine a light in every corner of our heart. Love, shine a light in every corner of our dreams. Let the love light carry, let the love light carry. Let the mighty river flow to the sea. Let our love shine a light in every corner of our dreams. And we're all gonna shine a light together. All shine a light, light the way. Brothers and sisters and every little heart. Let our love shine a light in every corner of our dreams.
They all smell, eh?
Phrases on your face. I know. Just get back there. I'm not. You zoom in or
Can you zoom the face?